Hey guys, I am super excited about this episode. Why? Because so many times I hear you say, I want to make 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15 figures. I want to do it. I want to be that successful speaker that's getting paid every time I get on stage. I want to be that author that's selling 9,000 copies of my book. And here's the thing, is that there's some pieces to that you're kind of missing. And you're missing it because there's people out there that'll talk to you about doing the 6 figures and 7 figures, but they don't always give you the behind the scenes. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited about today's episode. So what is this? It's the Speak Easy podcast, where you give the behind the scenes of what it means to be the successfully paid speaker or author, as well as entrepreneur. And I'm your host, Altavis Pelzer, the voice coach, professional speaker, certified life coach, founder of the World Voice League, a community of female speakers coming together to impact social change. But with that being said, I am through the roof about today's episode. Why? Because our guest, first of all, she just came back from China. I'll let her tell you a little bit more about what all happened in China. It wasn't anything illegal. But it was darn sure something epic. Epic. And with her being an African-American female who is a 6-figure earner, who is not only a 6-figure earner, but she is helping to have other women get into that same position. Oh, you're going to want to pay attention, take notes, make sure you get all of her information to connect with her. So, hey, Candace.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness, it is so, this is epic. This episode, I'm going to be talking about it for years to come, simply because I've been able to see what you've been doing in this process. And when you get to see it, oh man, you know the end result is going to be phenomenal. So tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dive into today's topic.
So thank everybody so much for having me. I am Candace Holyfield, also known as the 6-Figure Spy Chick, seen in American Spy Magazine, seen on Fox News, creator of the first Black Spy Magazine and Expo, and I'm dedicated to helping spy professionals open and operate independently. Anybody can open a business, but the hard part is keeping your doors open. So that's where me and my team, we come in to ensure your doors are staying open and you are making a profit.
So let's start off by saying, first and foremost, that the spy industry was never the industry when it came to African American women, even though the things that happen in the spy are things that we've been doing for years.
Correct. It's actually still not an African American based industry. Still not to this day. But we coming in there.
And you're like spearheading this whole movement of women opening up spas. And it's not just, and let's be honest, it's not just something that's a rinky-dink spa where they got one chair and listen. No, we are seeing beautiful spas. I've seen some of the pictures that you've done of these amazing places that cater to women and are like telling women, listen, it's time for us to get back into taking care of ourselves. So what brought you into wanting to open up your own spa?
I was a waitress for over 12 years, and I was like, hey, by the time I'm 30, I need to be out of here. But I actually had gave up on it. I was like, nobody's going to hire me. I want to do what I want to do when I get ready. I want to come in late. I want to leave early. So I had kind of just gave up on it. I was like, I'm going to stay a waitress. And one day, they just so happened took me out of my section that I had been working for years. And I went from making like $100, $150 a day to like $30 a day. And so that was my call to get up out of it. And I was like, hey, instead of me trying to go find another job, let me go learn a new skill. And I was actually going to go for nursing, but it took too long. I said, I need some money right now, today. And they was like, hey, this is the only program we have where you can open your business the next day after you graduate. And I wasn't even thinking about having my own business. I still was thinking about going to get a job, but learning a new skill to get like a better job. That really was my intention in the beginning.
So it came out of a desire and a need. to do something a little bit more. And I think a lot of people can definitely resonate with that because, listen, many of us go to a 9 to 5, or I can't say us because I'm not there anymore, thankfully, but many people go to a 9 to 5, they go to a 8 to 11 or whatever hours they're working, and they're completely miserable. They're working too many hours, they're standing on their feet, they're not taking care of their bodies, and they're stressed. So let's talk about in that beginning stages, what did that really look like when you made that transition? You said, you know what, I'm going to open my spa. What's next?
Well, I went to the school. I had went through a bad breakup in that process, so I was flat broke. I didn't have any money. I broke up, so I didn't have my boyfriend. They took me out of my station and my job. So I literally remember that whole year complaining. Like, I really don't remember having any good days. That whole year, I remember going to school and I was always the center of attention at school because I always came in with all my problems every single day, and I was just broke. I used to walk to work. I used to try to walk to school, get rides to school. It was a mess. But I was just determined to get my massage license and open up my spa. So I just kept on complaining every day, but I still was pushing forward in the process, basically.
That speaks volumes, being able to press through no matter what it is that was going on. Because we let's be honest, real talk, life happens. There are situations going on a regular basis, but being able to press through that in order to see the success that you have now, man, I know it must feel good.
Yeah, it's super amazing, pretty amazing.
Now let's dig into this whole China trip. Because first and foremost, when I saw that you were going to China, I hit the roof because I saw what you were doing, and I'm a visual person, so I'm really I hear one thing and my mind starts rolling, and 20 different ideas come to my head. So when I saw that you were going to China, I was just like, oh, she's about to tear the whole game up. That was it. So let's talk about your inspiration to go to China and what that process was.
So to be honest, I wasn't thinking about going to China. It's only a few people who actually do tours for China, and most people who go either in the hair industry or they got a boutique. So I was a spa professional, and I know people need machines and they need their own wax company and they have beauty brands. So I was like, it rolled around. I ended up having the money, so I went ahead and just paid for it. I actually did not know what was going to come out of it. I ended up birthing 2 other businesses from going to China. And so when I got there, my eyes was opened up to so many connections. And so I turned everything to stay in my lane, which is spa. So I said, hey, I'm going to do my own China trips, but only for spa professionals. Bring them directly to the manufacturer for their own wax, directly to the manufacturer for their own lashes or cosmetics, or the spa machines. If anybody wants to open up a spa, it's very expensive. It's not cheap. And you spend a lot of money on your decor and your equipment. So I went to China and found the direct manufacturers to get pretty much every single thing we need, which in the long run would save us a lot of money on opening from this day forward.
Now that is powerful. So to decide that you're going to go to China, and when you go, say, you know what, I'm going to put these things together, but I'm not just going for me. I think that was one of the most powerful things that I saw, that when you went, it wasn't just that you were going for you and you were going for what you could do for your spa, but you were putting it out there and saying, hey, if you're in the spa industry, I got something for you. Come on this journey.
Correct. And not even that. Everything I do, I try to see how I can make it for spa. So even if I'm even with you like, hey, what we gonna talk about? I try to take all these different opportunities and see how I can still stay in my lane and not be, all over the place. So when I went, I didn't go with any expectations. I was just going for the experience. And I said, hey, I can still turn this into a spa and monetize off of it as well, while in the same process helping, other people. So it was super amazing, a really great experience.
So, you just shared one of those key, millionaire tips that you can always find a way to monetize it. You can always find a way to make sure that it's something that still stays within the brand, stays with you. That is amazing. So if y'all didn't hear her say that, I need you to take this time to rewind it back and go back and re-listen to that, because we see, you know, the Warren Buffetts, we see the Jeff Bezos, we see what they're doing, and it's that same exact thing that I see a need. I go ahead and I say, okay, well, this is how it fits with what I'm doing, so let me go ahead and do my part and open up the opportunity, or let me go ahead and do my part and create something that was not there in order to help other people. I see it all the time, but we always go back and say, okay, man, how do we get started in this? And how do we, you know, we get way off track. We want to,
right.
Shiny object syndrome. We go left, we go right.
Stay in your lane.
That's it. You just got to stay in that lane. And when you learn to stay in that lane, that's where the success comes from.
And it makes it easier. When you try to go outside your lane, it just gets too difficult. So if I'm all things spa, I just figure out how to make it work for spa, and I can do spa with my eyes closed. So that makes me be in a position to make money easier when I can just craft it to stay in my lane.
So now I'm going to give you this honesty moment and say, okay, so is it easier for you in your mind? Is it easier being the first, or is it harder being the first?
Harder. Too much pressure. Everybody thinks being the first, it's hard being the first because you get so much pressure. When you do one thing, they waiting, hey, what's she going to do next? You always trying to, your next thing has to be just as good or better as the first thing you done. So I would definitely say being the first, you do get a lot of recognition, which is what you want. It's going to be a major part of your branding and your marketing, but it's a lot of pressure. And I feel like a lot of people just don't talk about that. To be the first to do anything, or even if you're making 6 figures, 7 figures, it's a lot of pressure from just the community. A lot of pressure.
It is. And, you know, that's interesting because, again, that's that focus, that's that mindset when people come into it. I want to be a speaker that's making $20,000 from the stage. And, you know, I want to be somebody that's made $50,000 from my book. I want to be able to say that. So, man, learning and knowing and understanding that behind the scenes, yeah, you're going to get some ridicule. You're going to get some things that's going to come your way that's not going to feel good. But what do you do in those moments?
For me personally, I let people know all the time, hey, I'm still human. You know, I am the 6-figure spot chick. You know, I am doing China trips. I am doing the first Black Spot Expo. And that's just come from my vision, me being a visionary. But I try to remind people all the time, hey, I am human. Hey, come meet me in person. Hey, read a couple of my books so people can kind of understand who I am better as a person. And that kind of makes everything a little bit less dramatic if they can understand that, hey, I am a human person, this is why I'm the way I am. And that actually helps me a lot with, you know, my ridicule and just basically, you know, criticism pretty much.
Now, I always ask everyone who comes onto the show, what has been a blunder for you? What is something that in this journey that you've been on, you can look back and say, that wasn't the best idea at all?
To be honest, everything I kind of do turn to gold. You know, everything that has happened, everything I have done, it has, you know, made me into this person. So I really can't say something wasn't a good idea, because basically, if I did do something that was a bad idea, I made sure I learned from the lesson. The one thing I probably would say is me getting, I moved from one location in Atlanta, my spa, I moved to a better, bigger location, and I went in with people that I didn't know, and they made me lose about $17,000. So that would probably be the only thing, but I learned a $17,000 lesson from that though. So me just jumping up, doing business with complete strangers, not kind of getting to know people, I don't do that anymore now. Now, if I'm doing some business now, I kind of want to know you before I just jump up and sign on the dotted line and everything is on me. So I make sure I don't do things like that anymore. So that was a $17,000 mistake.
You know, that speaks, oh my goodness, that speaks so much to the industry, because when we're coming in, listen, we grab a hold of whatever we can, right? So we're like, yeah, let me go and work with this person. Well, this person said they like how I speak, and this person said they like my book cover. So we go and start linking up with people, and we're not taking the time to do the research. We're not taking the time to read the fine print. And so that can really hurt us in the long run.
Yeah, because I had to stay in that year lease, and I had to pay all that money by myself. I mean, it was 3 months in, people was leaving left to right. So that would be my one mistake I would say I made when I went and got that spa location in downtown Atlanta.
Now you're in the Atlanta area, so that is a prominent area right now. It's booming with all types of entrepreneurial opportunities. Do you find that has been a huge impact on your success with the area that you're in?
Definitely. So I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee, and I moved to Atlanta so I could, just make more money and take my brand to the next level. Me personally, I don't think I could have became the six-figure spot chick in Memphis, Tennessee. Atlanta, here in Atlanta, you can easily go touch who you want to touch. So if it's a celebrity, an influencer, a reality star, you can actually go touch them like they're used to people, and they do a lot of events here. That's another thing about Atlanta. They do events here every day. So if you want to go meet somebody or get in a circle with somebody, all I did was went to an event when I moved to Atlanta, and people just started seeing my face. And that's how I got into all those celebrity circles. Plus, I had something to offer. That's another big problem. People want celebrity clients. They want to you're not showing people what you got to offer, so they're not giving you the time of day. So Atlanta, I would not be, I don't think I would have made $500,000 if I would have stayed in Memphis, Tennessee. It wouldn't have happened.
Okay, so now you just dropping all of these mics right now, okay? You said, the area that you're in was great, but you said that you showed up. And that's a huge piece of it. I think a lot of times we go back to, people get so used to and accustomed to that whole 500 business card model and, just go and shove business cards in people's faces, thinking that's going to be the way for them to be able to get the success, but that's not it at all.
No, it's all about showing people who you are and what you got to offer. I don't care what profession you're in. When I go to networking events, I always say, hey, who are you? What do you do? That's what I always say to people. And then they'll start telling me what they do. And if it's something that's why we also have to know what we need. So when we meet the right people and they got what we need, we ready. So that's another big, huge factor in being successful, knowing exactly what you need. So when the opportunity presents itself, you're able to take it.
Yes, I tell my clients that all the time. You should know exactly what you need, because if you show up ready to make the connections, show up ready to make real relationships. That's another piece of it. It's because we think, we're so interested in trying to leverage the person. No, leverage the opportunity. Show up, see how you can be of service to somebody else, because that can take you a whole lot further than just handing somebody a business card.
Right. I just got business cards maybe 2 weeks ago, only because I'm in more high-end rooms now, and they still do that. But depending on where you're going and what you're doing, people don't have business cards anymore. So I just recently ordered some just because the rooms I'm in now, that's the first thing they say, hey, you got a business card. So I was like, okay, let me make sure I do have a business card.
Putting yourself in a position of where you are now as opposed to where you were. But that speaks to who you are, because as you grow, you're going to have to change. They talk about, oh, I ain't changing for nobody. I'ma still be me. Okay, well, you still be you.
I think I change every 30 days, seriously. I tell people, I said, I'm not the Candace I was 30 days ago. Every 30 days, I'm a whole new person. Seriously.
Exactly. And you're always learning, you're always growing. I love the community that you have surrounding you and the support that you give to them, and just the way that you're taking them on this journey. You're opening up eyes, you're opening up opportunities. People miss it because they think, I think she's untouchable. Or they may think, oh, she's already on that celebrity status. I don't know if I can go and connect with her. What would you say to those people who right now are listening to this episode and saying, oh, but she's already making it. I don't know if I can, how do I get to her?
So I want to let everybody know, I'm only a celebrity in the spa world. The other people don't know me. Okay, I'm only a celebrity in the spa world. Okay, so I'm still very much reachable. Everybody know I am the queen of DMs, so I answer my DM all day, every day. I still personally myself answer every single DM. So all you have to do is send me a DM. I tell everybody that any platform I'm on, any event I go to, hey, just send me a DM and I answer them. Like, that's my job. Like, my job is answering DMs. So I'm telling you, it goes down in the DM, honey, and I answer those DMs every single day. So, hey, if you may have a question, or you may can serve me some type of way, I may can serve you some type of way, we may can have a partnership. Send me a DM on the Six Figure Spy Chick on Instagram, and I answer them every single day within 24 hours.
I love that, being able to still have that opportunity to reach out. I've had the opportunity to meet you in person and on more than one occasion, and it's been an amazing experience each and every time, listening to your story as well as having the opportunity to talk to you just, a little bit after the event or before the event. You always are dropping diamonds. So I have to say that. For those of you that are going to see her, you're going to talk to her, she's going to drop diamonds. Come with pen and paper ready.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's another huge part as well. We admire people, from social media all the time, but meeting somebody in person, even from me meeting you, and I started following everybody, and I was telling Coach, I was like, After V speaks so well, and she's so amazing. So I would definitely tell people that's another part of you being 6-7 figure earner, is actually meeting people in the physical form. Like, you can't just stay behind your computer all the time and things like that. You want to go meet people in person.
Ooh, you better say that again, because oh my goodness, there are so many times where we think we can do it all online, and we sure enough cannot.
Not until we making the 7 figures, then, it's a go. But until we reaching up to the 7 figures, we need to be doing a lot of still footwork. A lot of footwork. I probably still be doing it when I make 7 figures because I love what I do, but we have to put that footwork in so people can see us online and offline.
I love it. I love every bit of it. Oh my goodness, guys, we could go on and on and on with this interview, but I want you guys to be able to find out where you can get in contact with Candace. I know she currently has a tour going on. She's going to be hitting up a couple different spots. She has a book coming out. She's also a part of a book anthology that I'm doing, so I'm super excited about that. Let them know where they can find you and how they can reach out to you.
So on every single platform, it is 6 Figure Spy Chick. You will spell out the word 6. Do not leave out the spy. 6 Figure Spy Chick. That's on Facebook and Instagram and on YouTube. And all you have to do is send me a DM, and I will gladly answer. And if I could be of service to you, all I do is serve all day, every day as well. So just send me a DM, and we can get to work.
And look, on that note, she did say, let's get to work. That means be prepared to do the work. Don't show up thinking it's going to be easy peasy and that you're just going to slip into 6 figures. It don't happen that way.
Because it's not easy, and people need to know that. It's not easy.
It most definitely is not. I'm so thankful. Thank you so much for being a guest today. I appreciate you so much, Candace.
Thank you so much for having me.
And guys, you always know I love bringing you people who have done so many different things on so many different arenas and genres. Why? Because guess what? If they can do it, then so can you. There is no reason why you cannot get started today. But the key element to that is getting started today. With that being said, guys, I appreciate you, because without the Speakeasy Podcast listeners, there would be no Speakeasy Podcast. I'm your host, Alcibie Spelzer, the voice coach. And until next time, guys, don't forget to press it out. See ya.